Hello, how's it going? It's Yulong again. It's been 12 weeks since my surgery, so today I want to talk about what's been happening for the 11 and 12 weeks of my recovery from Achilles Tendon Rupture. If you're interested in previous weeks, please check out my other videos. So I think 11 and 12 weeks, there are two major themes. The first is I'm officially walking in regular shoes without any heel lifts. I removed the heel lifts at the beginning of the week 12. And the second thing I want to talk about is the exercises that I have been doing for the past 2 weeks. Of course, calf raises, of course. I did, and also things I did in the gym. I also went to the pool. My surgeon suggested that would be a good idea for me to try just walk in the pool, so I want to talk about that as well. Okay, but first, walking in regular shoes. This is a big topic. Like I said, I removed the heel lifts inside the shoe, and I'm still wearing the shoes all the time. I'm not walking in barefoot because I don't think there's enough support. I have a pair of running shoes for outdoor and also a pair of sandals at home. Now I know what you're gonna think about, because typically the rupture patients are not supposed to wear sandals at home. Anytime, because the sandals are like super flat. There's no support around the ankle. But I got this interesting sandal from Crocs, like the ones that made the plastic sandal. This guy has a pretty good support. It also has a higher heel, so it's not flat. And yeah, like I only started wearing this a couple days ago, but so far it's been fine. So I think at home that's what I'm wearing. Now, walking in regular shoe, the big thing is learning how to walk again. Honestly, I heard a lot about this in other videos where other patients talk about how they're trying to learn to walk again. I didn't think that would be a thing for me because, it just walk, right? You know this from, like since you're like 2 years old maybe. So but it's quite a challenge for me so far. So that's why I want to talk about this first. I think mostly there are two reasons. First is mentally. Of course, now that you're out of boot, you trying to avoid injuring your leg and your tendon again, right? So subconsciously you're trying to put less weight on the injured leg while more weight on your healthy leg, and that resulting in imbalanced walk. Another, which is more important reason, is it just physically we still don't have the muscle to support you make a long distance walk in a balanced way. And the muscle you have is too weak for you to walk normally without, really thinking about it. Your injured leg has been resting, has been getting assistance from the boot, and also even the heel left inside the shoe. All of these things sort of makes you have a muscle memory of imbalanced walk, basically. What I find is I was able to walk normally for maybe the first 10 steps or 20 steps without question. However, gradually, without me myself realizing it, my body would automatically adjust to an imbalanced walk pose, because I think after a while, my calf on the injured leg gets tired and sore super quick, and also my tendon, and sometimes even hurts. So my body would subconsciously trying to adjust to the optimal pose such that these parts, which are already tired, would basically take less pressure, and that's an imbalanced walk. I can actually show you how I walk right now. I was able to walk properly if I really think about it, and also at the beginning of the walk. So you can see from the proper walking pose, Every walk is a full swing, meaning your leg should complete a full cycle, starting at pushing off to the ground and ending at touching the ground with your heel and also with your leg, with your foot in a slight dorsiflexion angle, right? Apparently, there are so many videos teaching how you should walk, and also there's step-by-step illustrations online that show you like a detailed guide how you should walk. I never realized that there are so much going on in the walk. I guess again it's just because we never thought about this. Okay, so the full cycle of a walk is called a gait cycle, and it consists of two phases. One is stance, the second is swing. The stance is basically the period where your leg is bearing weights. So it starts at when your heel is touching the ground, and it ends at when your foot is lifting off of the ground and swing forward. And that's when you enter the swing phase. The interesting thing is, I did a little research. So it says that the average typical dorsiflexion angle you will need to walk properly is 5 to 10 degrees, whereas a typical dorsiflexion angle for a normal person can achieve is around 20 to 30 degrees, sometimes even 35. I guess it means the walking is relatively safe because only have 5 to 10 degrees. And if you count the heel support of your shoes, because you need to have, again, you cannot wear a flat shoe, you need to wear a pair of shoes that has heel support. If you count that, then the dorsiflexion you need to walk is like maybe 0 to 5 degrees. Like it's really minimal. So I think it's a good place to start dorsiflexion when during your recovery period. But yeah, so I think the walking turns out to be quite challenging, especially if you want to walk long distance. I think most people just don't think twice about how they walk. This only matters because for us, the tendon rupture patients, our muscle is too weak to allow us to do this without thinking about it for a long distance. Or I can probably do 10 steps without thinking about it. But after that, if I don't put my mind specifically guiding my muscle, my body will just automatically adjust the pose into an improper one. And you don't want to walk in an improper one, not only because it sort of overuse some parts of the muscle that you're not supposed to use much, but also you didn't really exercise your injured leg, which is the whole point of trying to walk at this stage, right? You're trying to gain the muscle, right? So the whole point of people talk about learning how to walk, when you're trying to, when you're out of the boot, I think it's more about practicing the walking and exercising the muscle of your injured leg until your muscle is strong enough to walk by itself without you have to just really put your mind into it, right? Just like a normal person. Another thing about walking that I have kept in my mind, and you should probably do too, is think about when you want to rest after you walk for a while. Because the muscle is so weak, if you keep walking, you basically would over exercise the muscle in your injured leg. And I think that's my physical therapist told me that I would be at risk of getting tendonitis if I just trying to keep walking, even if the muscle is really sore. I think the tendonitis is just where basically when you overuse your tendon and it gets inflammation and gets pain and everything. And if you really have tendonitis, I think you're not supposed to use your tendon at all. So you're back to square one, right? So that's definitely something you don't want, and I don't want. Right now, I'm really trying to focus while I'm walking, and I'm trying to rest whenever I feel the pain, let's say on my tendon is growing to for a 5 out of 10. And that's when I need a rest. I find even if I'm just standing there and like do nothing, because it's not putting too much pressure or stretching the tendon, it helps a lot. So basically I just walk, and whenever I feel pain, I will stop and just standing there, and then I will start, like after a while, I'll start walking again. Okay, next I want to talk about exercises. This is a topic that I love because I think this is important for this whole recovery. Basically, you will want to spend at least some time every day to do exercises that's getting your strength back to the tendon and calf muscle. People always say that Achilles tendon rupture is like a nasty injury to recover from. It's very complex to recover back to your regular strength. I think probably mostly because in the injury you lose all the strength to your tendon and calf. Like that's scary kind of thing, right? But that's what should happen. You have to rebuild it from zero. So you just have to spend a lot of time every day. Like if you do a lot of exercise in one day and then just relax for the next few days, it doesn't work like that. Like you need a repeatedly hitting the same muscle. That's how the muscle grows. And basically that's what you're trying to do for the tendon and calf muscle. I guess just a reminder for myself that, don't give up on the exercises, still just trying to hit the exercise as hard as possible every day. Okay, 3 things. Exercise at home, gym exercise, and I tried pool exercise as well. So I'm going to talk about all 3. First is, at home, I'm still doing a lot of calf raises. I reduced the reps a little bit because I chatted with my physical therapist and they think I might overdo my calf a little bit. That's why I told them that I feel pain when I'm doing the calf raises. I feel pain in my calf. So they suggest me reduce the reps a little bit. I used to do 150 a day. Now I'm doing 100. I am able to do double leg calf raise now, but I think I'm still a long way to go to do the single leg calf raise. That's just so hard. I cannot even lift like one bit, which is frustrating. But I guess we just need to keep going. Cool. The calf raise still going on. Another thing I start doing a lot is single leg standing. Basically, you're just standing on your injured leg for a certain amount of time. I'm trying to do several variations. I do this one just standing there and maybe hold for like a minute, and then I start trying to do the same thing but without my focus on the foot. Like what it means is basically you're trying to maybe watch a TV or play with your phone while you're standing with the injured leg, because I think like trying to have the body balance themselves and utilize the muscle themselves without you thinking about it, I think that helps them to go back to the normal version of themselves as well. Because I tried with my healthy leg, that's pretty easy. Like I don't need to think about twice. Another variation is I'm trying to do dumbbell press while I'm standing in a single leg. I think with the weight movement, also shifting hands, it shifts my body as well. So that sort of adds challenge to your injured leg. These sort of variations, I think it just helpful in general, trying to really push hard on your single leg. And I think single leg standing is a little bit different from the calf raise. Calf raise is laser focus on the calf muscle, whereas the single leg standing is sort of working on your entire like half of your body, right? So I think it's also important just because this half, like your injured half, hasn't been worked on for quite a while. And of course, walking is another type of exercise you just should do, but try not to overdo it. Next is exercise in the gym. Those are pretty straightforward. I usually do 3 exercises. The first is the leg curl, which is exercise my hamstring. Hamstring, I think it's definitely used during walking because I can feel my hamstring easily sore right after like a very short amount of walk. So that's why I actually go to the gym to train my hamstring, because I didn't find a particularly efficient way to train my hamstring at home. And then I also do leg extension, which is training the quads, and then the leg press. I think it's training both the quads and your glute. So that's the gym exercise I'm doing. I'm not going to the gym every day. I'm going to the gym like once or twice a week. For the rest of the days, I just still do all the exercise I'm doing at home. Okay, the last thing is I try out exercises in the pool. Hydrotherapy, which is basically workout in the pool, is very recommended like for the recovery. I think the pool gives two big benefits. The first, it takes part of your body weights off. That means less pressure on the muscle you're trying to train. So you can do stuff that you probably wouldn't be able to do while you are on the ground. But it also, because it takes off weight, give you more support, you're less likely to be injured. If you do stuff on the ground, if you slipped, things just too heavy, you might just break down and you might just hurt yourself. But in the pool, because the water provides the support, you're less likely to be injured. But of course, the slipperiness of the pool, I guess that makes the pool sort of a double-sided sword. But yeah, so that's the one big benefit. The second benefit is it adds some resistance to your activities, right? Because of the water that sort of push and pull you, it makes it actually a little bit harder to do activities, and it consumes more energy. So I tried that in a gym. I don't have access to a pool in my house, so I went to the gym. There's also some footages. I think it's pretty good. For one thing, I tried walking in the pool, and I was able to do the full cycle. Even like, I think I'm not sure if I mentioned before, in the walking, the biggest challenging for me is the last bit where you're trying to push off the ground. That's the most challenging part, that I find that my tendon is not strong enough to complete it every time I walk. In the pool though, I was able to do that. So I think that I find it very beneficial. Water adds a little bit of challenge to walk in a straight line in the pool. So I definitely enjoyed that. I think that's a lot of benefits. I'm also try to do like maybe just freestyle swing or do flutter kicks in the pool. Those doesn't require you to do dorsiflexion, so I think I'm okay to do that. I think that again is a good cardio exercise that you can do. Overall, I think pool exercise is definitely a good experience. I think it's mainly depends on whether you do have the easy access to the pool. For me, because I have to go to a gym to do this, so and also it takes me a while to drive there. So I'm not sure if I will be able to do this too often. But yeah, so these are the three kinds of exercise I'm doing right now at the week 12. That's all that I have to say for these past 2 weeks. I feel like things are getting better. I can walk a little bit, but at the same time, I also feel even stronger that I am still such a long distance to the normal life that I had before. At this stage, we just gotta push on, keep up the exercises, and hopefully we can get closer and closer, right? Cool, that's it. Again, thanks for watching the video. Hope you find this helpful, and I'll see you in another 2 weeks.